Hi friends, MD Vegan. I make a juice today, rhubarb juice with mint and apple, pears and oranges. So 5 ingredients, and I have 1 stalk of rhubarb. Cut it into small pieces, that's important. You know, these here, these small pieces, that's important because for the juicer, you see these fiber here, they have a lot of fiber. And if you, long, strong fiber, long, strong, and very hard. And when you put them in the juicer as a whole piece, the juicer stops because the fiber will go around the juicer inside and block everything. But when you cut it in small pieces, then it goes, yeah. And I always juice a piece of rhubarb, piece of apple, piece of pear, piece of rhubarb. So back and forth to have variety. That's easier for the juicer to get through the fiber. But the rhubarb is really high in fiber, and juicing it, it's a vegetable. It's the most sour tasting vegetable maybe so far we know, and it has only been eaten in many recipes since the 18th century or 19th century. I don't know when they got sugar fabricated. Sugar is cooked with sugar because it's so sour. So before, it was for thousands of years, it was used in China. The roots, they have medicinal value. They use it all the time, but the stalks, that's what we can eat, not the leaves. They grow in spring after cold winters. Large leaves, they are high in oxalic acid. That's toxic, one could say. So the leaves are not recommended, but the stems are okay. I used to eat them as a kid in the garden, or then I take them home and put in sugar. But instead of sugar, I do it with the juice now of 3 common fruit. Here I have apples, oranges, and pears. 2 cups each, around 3 cups, 2 cups, whatever you have. Apples, oranges, and pears. And that makes it's a very nice juice, these 3 together. You can try. It's delicious. Here, pears. I cut them also that they can fit into the juicer, because it's a very nice and balanced juice. Has some creaminess, has some runniness, it has some sweetness, some sour, some little bitter. It's very nice balance, these 3 together. And yeah, you're gonna try that also without anything else, but it's also a base for all kinds of vegetables. By the way, I read that the American Food Administration, or so they say, rhubarb is a fruit. It's not correct. But botanically, the fruit is the seed-bearing part of the plant. And that's not the case with rhubarb. The seeds are not in the rhubarb. And here, mint is my 5th ingredient. It gives the main flavor to this juice. Mint is a cooling, refreshing for the breath, for the mouth herb. It's a wonderful herb, and it grows in the garden easily everywhere. I bought it. I have a nice little bunch, and well, some of the stems, I take some of the leaves and make it into a nice rhubarb juice. Let's see if it works. I come back in a sec, and then I show you my juice, and I talk you a little bit about fasting, because today's my Gentle Juicefasting day, once a week. I talk about that, and I drink a lot of juices liquids at that time. So that's why I make a juice every week. So I come back in a moment with the juice. I got about 1 liter of mint rhubarb juice. It looks nice, nice color. I didn't taste it yet. I have no idea what it tastes like. I hope it's balanced, because the sour rhubarb needs balance from the sweet fruit, sweet sour fruit, but pears are sweet, that's important. Apples are okay, and oranges, I hope they're also sweet. So, and the mint goes nicely with sweet flavors, I know that. But let's see what it is now here. Texture is runny, it's very nice texture. And color too, but the taste, now let's see. Mm, that's nice. Yeah. I mean, if you have apple, pear, oranges, juice base, you can basically cannot go wrong. It's always nice. Now it's here tinged with this rhubarb. You can't take too much of it, really. It's too sour. And also tannins are in there. These when you have a very tart flavor, can be, so not too much, but it has a nice touch, nice flavor, and also high in vitamin K1. That's very important. And so, and the mint, of course, is always a nice flavor, and it works together with it here. That's with the sweetness of these juices, of these apple, orange, pear juice. It's very nice. I'll show you what it looks like. I pour it into a glass. I will drink it slowly. On a fasting day, I make juices usually, at least one large juice. See? It's a slight yellow-greenish color on the mint. And I drink it slowly because on a fasting day, I take away the fiber of my ingredients. Plants, I eat plants. These are the fiber. That's what makes plants stand up, gives the shape to the plants. And only plants make that. And it's very important for our immune system, for digestion. The intestines, they need the fiber to work correctly, and the bacteria then take the fiber apart and give us some important nutrients from the fiber. The fiber is formerly was known as that what cannot be digested by the body itself, but the bacteria, they do that, and now we know they give us some of the nutrients that are so important. But of course, I take the fiber out on the fasting day. Fasting is rather about reducing calories. That means energy, basically. It's not so much about reducing nutrients, but calories, the energy. And because when you do that to the body, you eat less calories, less energy than usually, then the body begins to cleanse itself. That's called autophagy. It's called, this means eating itself. Autophagein. That is Greek, ancient Greek word for medicine also. So eating itself means the cells, they always produce, every single cell produces protein. That's the job. They produce protein, for example, long chains, and they can be malfunctioning. They can be wrongly produced. There always happen mistakes. That's normal. Falsely produced protein is then garbage. It goes in a garbage pile. And on fasting days, that was usual. All of humankind, we were fasting up to 3 days because we had no food. And that was something only the industrial age brought, food every day. That is something new. But for the most time, we were always fasting for a long time. And that fasting, that is like bringing out the garbage from these cells, from these misproduced proteins. And if it doesn't happen, if you don't fast, eat every day, then the garbage piles up and you begin to age. And this is like a block of the cells, the blocking. They can't work properly, and you get sick. And there come diseases. With age, there come diseases when it's not cleansed properly. So anti-aging means when you do the fasting and you cleanse out the garbage, then you don't get the diseases when you get older. You stay younger. The aging doesn't happen so much. So that's a very good thing, and fasting, I like it a lot. Of course, you can also do other things than fasting. Fasting can be a problem for people because it can be very intense, especially when you have 0 calories. There were studies showing that when you do the water fast, the 0 calorie fast, there are a huge amount of side effects that are not wanted, like fiber, headache, heart racing. There are many things. You can sweat. There are many things that is not so pleasant that can happen during fast. It's strong detox, and so people cannot stand it. It can be very bad for people to fast. So doctors say you should have a doctor oversight. But there are other studies. There was the largest study up to date was made in 2019, where they showed that a modified fasting, not with 0 calories, but with some juices, veggie broth, and that's the kind of juicing, the fasting I do, gentle juice fasting, we call it in Trail Yoga, my yoga style. When that kind of fasting has almost no side effects. And it has some very cleansing effects. Of course, it's very intense. I do it once a week, one day, and forever, right? And it's gentle. That means I always look that I feel great, drinking enough. 4 liters, that's for me. How much you would need, I don't know. I know when I drink 4 liters, I don't get a headache, and that's for me most important. I feel great. So I drink a lot, beginning in the morning with water, of course. I make a tea, or coffee or whatever, plant milks, juices, veggie broth, all that. And then I feel great. Just 4 liters I need. I know that. I have to count it. that is the trick. Otherwise, once a headache is there, it begins. It's hard to stop, hard to reverse. I don't know, can drink whatever you want. It continues. The damage is done. So that I want to avoid that at all costs. Yeah. So drinking a lot. Because the healing, the self-healing process is best when the body is in balance. You feel good. Very simple. Then the body heals itself when you're in stress. And so also 0 calorie fasting is also stress for the body. It's a stress mode. There are studies on that also. But it's not the case with gentle juice fasting. It is an intense effect, but if it is too intense, even one day can be long. I just eat a little bit, or drink a smoothie with some fiber to slow the fasting down, no problem. Main thing is I do it every week, on and on and on, and then it gets more and more intense. I don't want to miss it anymore. So, a little bit of fasting. Now I will enjoy my wonderful juice here, have a new experience on fasting day. I have more energy for the senses. I feel, I taste the juices better, the ingredients. I know how they play together. I learned a lot about all these ingredients, how to use the rhubarb, for example, such a wonderful vegetable. Yeah, I know how to use it right. You can make a rhubarb juice and put it into a smoothie with bananas or so and pears. It's so delicious. There are many things you can do with rhubarb. It's a wonderful flavor. It's a sour flavor that is not unpleasant. Yeah, it's not like a lemon. It's different. Yeah, so there are a lot of things you can learn about the ingredients, and what better way than making a recipe every single day. So you get to know these ingredients, and that's what I'm doing. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video, subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. Enjoy the endless vegan variety. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and X. And you can make a donation too. There's a button under the video called Thanks. Thanks.